Welcome to the TeenLife Live College Prep Expo. We are thrilled to have you here with us for our second session of the evening. My name is Jonathan Kendall. I am thrilled to be welcoming you here tonight as a representative of TeenLife Media. And once again, we're so glad that you are here joining us for some information on the college application process. A reminder to all of you attending, your camera and microphone are turned off, and our attendees, or our presenters rather, will not be able to see or hear you. However, representatives from all 5 programs this evening, all 5 organizations this evening, are going to be in the chat, ready and willing to answer any questions you may have about their presentation or their organization. So be sure to ask those questions using the Q&A portal in the bottom of the Zoom window, and someone there should be there to answer any question you might have. Following our 5 presentations this evening, there will be a short moderated Q&A where you'll get to hear a little bit more from each of our 5 presenters. So be sure to stick around so you can hear a little bit more about that. It is now my pleasure to introduce Marie Schwartz, the founder and CEO of TeenLife Media.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's first ever College Prep Expo. We are delighted to present 5 different organizations during this session who all add value in some aspect of the college admissions process. So I encourage you to listen to each one. We're here to help you discover things that you never knew existed and make the whole process of becoming a young adult a little bit easier. Just by way of background, we are a free platform that parents, students, educators, advisors, anyone who works with young people can go to. We function very much like Google, where you put in a special interest in the search bar, and it'll present you with different opportunities in about 7 different types of listings. Summer programs is really what we're known for, especially pre-college summer programs that take place on a college campus. We have gap year programs. We offer a whole slew of service providers, such as those on this call, who are interested in reaching you. We also have schools, colleges, and then a new category for us is after-school enrichment. So, and volunteer opportunities. So we're trying to be as comprehensive as possible and really help as many students as possible to take that next step in their life and transform possibly what it is they want to do when they grow up. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jonathan. Thank you for, and if, all of you will be getting a copy of this recording after the session, so feel free to share it with anyone you want. They don't have to be registered to view the video. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marie. Without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to our first presenter of the evening, North Shore College Counseling.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Herzog, and I'm here with my business partner, Debbie Cantor, and we're here tonight to talk to you about selecting a college. We are, as Jonathan mentioned, the co-owners of North Shore College Consulting and the Admissions Key VIP. Clearly, a big piece of the college preparation process is developing your college list. And without knowing where to start, the college search can become overwhelming. Luckily, there's not one perfect school out there for you. In fact, there are many that will fit your unique needs. To begin your college search, you need to forget everything that you think you know about certain colleges. Do not rely on the rankings, and definitely do not worry about what bumper sticker will be on your car or what college name will be on your sweatshirt. Instead, you need to really worry about fit in building your college list. And this is a very individualized process. Ultimately, you're going to be happiest at colleges that are a good fit for you, and happy students are clearly the most successful. The name of the college alone is not enough to ensure your happiness or success. Rather, you need to get to know yourself and what you want out of college. Start by asking yourself some questions about the key characteristics you want in a college. You'll see a bunch listed on our screen, so maybe take a screenshot of that. This is just some of many characteristics out there. This will help you develop the criteria for your college list. Consider the qualities you want in your college, and then rank each quality on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how important it is to you. Now ask yourself, which of these qualities is the most important to you? For instance, will you not go to a college if it is a certain size or if they do not have a specific major? Additionally, consider whether there are any unique activities or programs, such as accelerated programs or co-op programs, that you might want in a college. And if there are, make sure you add those to your list of key criteria and rank their importance as well. Now look back over all of your answers and create a prioritized list of all of your most important criteria. This list will help you narrow down the thousands of accredited colleges by focusing on the factors that are the most important to you. I'm sure many of you have heard horror stories of a student who was not admitted to any college. Truthfully, the only reason that this should happen is if a student did not have a balanced list of colleges. So what do we mean by balanced? You want to have a good mix of wildcard, reach, match, and likely schools. A college is considered a wild card when the acceptance rate is so low, generally below 20%, that even the most competitive applicants should not expect to be admitted. A reach school is one that is unlikely to admit you based on your test scores and or GPA, since they do fall below those reported by the college for its average student. A match school is one that you should be admitted to based on your academic qualifications, but there are no guarantees given the holistic nature of admissions at most colleges. And last, a likely college would be one where the student's odds of being admitted are very high, given the fact that your GPA and test score fall well above those of the mid 50%. So where do you find this data? We recommend that you use the common data set, which is data reported directly from each college. Simply Google the college name followed by common data set. This will give you all sorts of information about what admissions officers find most important in the admissions process and what the number of admitted students, the average GPA and test scores. Likewise, it's also very important to see what other things that the admissions officers are going to consider. You need to have more than just GPA and test scores. It's very important to set yourself apart in other ways. Taking the time to research each college is essential, as the place you go to college is going to be your home for the next 4 years. Colleges will post their values and their mission statements on the strategic planning website page on their website. And this information is going to provide a roadmap for the university's future. So make sure that those correlate to your values. Additionally, you are not going to simply remember what you did in the classroom at college. So make sure to explore the student affairs information, which will give you a good idea of how students fill their days. Information about Greek life, student clubs, and events on campus will be provided here. Before you go too far into the admissions, into the research process, make sure if you have a major you want to apply to, that the major is available at the colleges you are considering. You can find information about each major on the academic websites of each college, and you can learn more about each major by looking at the classes and where the alumni have gone. Once you've taken the time to research your options, stop to reflect on your findings. How do you truly feel about each college? This step is the most important. Of the schools you researched, hopefully you find some that you're really excited about and that you can research even further. Feel free to ask us any questions in the chat and we're happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys. We're going to move on to our second presenter of the night, and that is the resources available to you at Coalition of College. Take it away, Derek.
All right, thank you so much, Jonathan, and thank you, Amy, as well, for kicking this off. So hi, everyone. My name is Derek Terrell, and I'm with the Coalition for College. Joining me is my colleague in the background, Amanda Waite, who will be answering any questions and providing support off screen. So before we start talking about selecting a college, which Amy already did a really great job of touching on, I wanted to start off by telling you a little bit about the Coalition. So the coalition is more than 150 colleges and universities with a proven commitment to access, affordability, and student success. So together we provide a set of tools called My Coalition to help students learn about, prepare for, and apply to college as early as 9th grade. Our member schools demonstrate this commitment by providing responsible financial aid and graduating students in a timely manner, including those who have been historically underrepresented in higher education. So coalition schools outperform the national averages when it comes to retention and graduation rates, which are really important factors that you should consider when thinking about the college that you'd like to attend. So these are some of the reasons why coalition schools are smart college choices and make a great starting point when building and finalizing your college list and ultimately deciding the place that you want to be. So additionally, our members represent a wide range of size and selectivity, giving students a range of smart colleges to explore. So we provide an application, a college application that you can use to apply directly to all of our 150 plus coalition schools. But those aren't the only resources that we offer. When you create an account, you'll receive personalized messages to help through your next steps in the college and the application process, as well as invitations to events and other opportunities. If you'd like to get that helpful information outside of your inbox, our Instagram account is also a really great resource for advice and news that we curate to help you. That comes directly from admissions and financial aid officers at our member schools. If you need to reach us via email, you can also email us at info@coalitionforcollege.org. So now that you know about the coalition, let's get back to the topic of selecting a college. So whether you're a 9th grader just starting to think about where you might want to go, or you're a senior about to start applying, there are a few things you should know about, and the Coalition for College is there to help you with tools and resources all along the way. So as Amy mentioned before, your college search really means finding schools that line up with your interests, academic abilities, and your future goals. And like she said, there are thousands of schools out there, but only a few that will be the right one for you, and then only one that you'll actually go to. So if you have no idea where to start, here are 6 things that you can consider. So think about the type of college. Do you want a 2-year or 4-year, public, private? You might be surprised to learn that sometimes they cost the same. Also, location. Do you want to be close to home, or do you want to venture somewhere new? Do you want to come home on the weekends or only on the holidays? So keep your mind open and try not to limit your search right away by just distance. Campus setting. Do you want to live and learn in a small college town, or do you want a large university? Do you want to live in a dorm? So it's really helpful to visit them if you can, to get a view of campus life firsthand. Also, areas of study. Do you know what you want to do after college? Do you know what subjects you enjoy? Then learning environment. Do you like small classes, big lectures, and all of those things right there? Don't be swayed by the school's reputation. Instead, find an academic style that's a good fit for you. Then obviously cost. So thinking about financial fit. So seeing if you'll qualify for financial aid. Coalition schools on your list are a great place to start because they are proven to be affordable options. So now that you've taken those 6 points into consideration, it will lead you to build that college list. And applying to college really means applying to colleges plural. So big or small, 2-year or 4-year, we typically recommend that you apply to 6 to 10 schools to make sure that you're giving yourself those smart college choices. You can read more about how to create a list in our My Coalition Counselor articles, as well as we have a recent panel discussion where 4 of our coalition member schools talked about creating and crafting a smart college list. So here's a look at what the college list section looks like in My Coalition, as well as the school's profile page, which tells you all sorts of great information about the school and can be accessed directly from your college list in My Coalition. Just remember, your college list can change, and it's going to change as you explore and find out more about schools, more about yourself as your years go on, and also how those two combine and align. So just remember, you can always add or remove schools from your college list. There are lots of ways for you to explore colleges to find the right schools for you, whether it's just to add them to your list as a 9th through 11th grader, or as a 12th grader to actually apply, be admitted to, and hopefully choose as your home. But one way that you could do that is in a college fair. There are in-person college fairs, but there are even virtual ones like the ones that the Coalition will be hosting this fall. Also, visiting a school is a really great way to learn more. But we know that sometimes cost, time restraints, or travel logistics make that not possible. So there are other ways for you to go beyond the brochures to learn more about schools, like their website, following them on social media, connecting with admissions counselors, current students, or even faculty on campus. Just so we all know, with the pandemic, many schools have taken to beefing up their virtual events and tours online. So be sure to take advantage of those as well. We actually partnered with Adora by Full Measure to create college tours that highlight college access, affordability, and student success. So you can check out their website and learn more about that. So time is running out, so just wanted to remind you all of the ways that you all can connect with the Coalition for College and our member schools and how you can take advantage of all the great resources available to you for free. By creating an account, you'll receive invitations to our events, both fairs and panel discussions, and you can check out our website for past recordings. This spring, we actually rolled out our exploration scholarships for 9th and 10th graders. So we gave away 10 $500 scholarships to students to explore colleges, whether it's campus visits or anything like that. And at the Coalition, we truly believe in starting early and stressing less on your path to college. And that was the motivation behind our class of 2022 scholarships, the Path to College Scholarship. So 5 members of the class of 2022 could win $1,000 for getting a jump start on their applications by July 30th. So you'll find details on our website. And if you're a senior, be sure to check that out. And that is all for me today. And I'll go ahead and pass it back to Jonathan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Derek. Appreciate that. Next on the presenter list is Versan Educational Services.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
my name is Sandra Bramwell. I want to thank Jonathan and Amy for having me on. I'm talking to you all the way from Jamaica. And the reason I'm here is because we cover students in the Caribbean, India, and North America. So in 26 years, we have processed over 16,000 students. And so we have a template to assist all these students. I'm sorry I don't have all the nice gigs to put up, so I will be answering all questions in the chat room and the Q&A after. But I am talking about acing the application. How do we help some 5,000 students every year? Yes, we have a big staff and they reach out, they assist all the students. But there is a serious template that you must follow. Start early. I heard Coalition mention July 30th. That's when we get in gear. And we have students use an academic planner, plan out all deadlines, and we give them a template to follow. Applications, filled out, essays, resumes, accessing transcripts and teacher recommendations. And all this, we give them a 2-month furlough on, in which they have to complete the applications. It is very important that the students check in with an advisor from our office to see that they are on track. By September 30th, close to October 1st, most of our 5,000 seniors are complete. The files are done. And they are ready to press that button and to submit, because we sort of have everything in place, exam results by October 1st, some of them by August, some by May, June, and we have exams in place, we have teacher recommendations in place, we have transcripts in place, and we use the time that they have to work on the essays. And if they are artists, athletes, if they are musicians, we would like the videos done, and we work with the students on that as well. So whereas we take care of the applications and we take care of the essays and the resume, we are also going to be working on their extracurricular videos and presentations and watching all deadlines. The financial aid is also something that we reserve for last. We would like the students and the families to work through applications first and to complete all that is necessary to submit. And then we sit with the families to work through the financial aid. We usually leave that for the end of September, going over into October, and it's usually quite tedious with parents going after tax forms and all the necessary items that they need. But we leave that as its separate entity and then submit. Decisions come down because we applied early in December, November, and for those doing regular decisions between January and March. As I'm dealing with US and international students, we also have to deal with those who have to secure student visas to get to the United States. Of course, are Americans, that's self-explanatory, but then we have to deal with international immigrations around the world. So our office is generally quite overwhelmed, but we are very successful with a 99% placement of some 5,000 students annually. And how do we handle the test prep part of it? We partnered with a company that does the test prep, and it has worked out beautifully for us. We have students usually averaging between 1,450 and 1,600. And so therefore, we believe that the package is complete, and acing the application is not about being dutiful with time. I have 1 minute to go. Dutiful with time and filling out your application and writing your essays and resume and submitting your scores, your transcripts, your counselor and teacher recommendations, preparing your portfolios, applying early. The template is be organized. And with that, everything else follows. I think my 6 minutes are up. And so I hand it over to Jonathan. And all my information will be in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will now be moving on to College Essay Guy.
Hi friends, what's up? I'm Ethan. I'm the College Essay Guy. My colleague Alex is here in the background. Our mission is to help bring more equity to this process, this college admissions process. And part of how we do that is through free resources. So I just wanted to share with y'all some free resources today. So this is our college application hub. Alex will share the link in the chat. And this is for domestic students, like if you live in the US. If you're an international student, we have an international version of this. Some of the resources we have on here, just to share with you a few of these, are things like how to develop a great college list, which some folks have talked about. When you click any of these resources, you'll see like a step-by-step guide for doing some of these things. We've got things that are like downloadable templates, like this college list research tracker, where you can basically list all the schools you're applying to, and then you can put all the essays that you download from either the Coalition app or the Common app, and you put the prompts in here, and it helps to kind of organize everything for free. We've also got some stuff on like creating like a timeline if you're trying to figure out what to do when. So if you click this one, you'll see things like another kind of, downloadable timeline if you want to organize everything, and then what to do, whether you're in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, or 12th grade. And then here's how to research colleges. One of the things that has been tricky this year especially is like, how do you research without visiting a campus? So we've got some advice on that. And then when you're trying to figure out, should I play early decision, early action? What's the deal with that? We've got a whole guide for that. We've also got resources, free resources on how do you actually generate the content for your application. So we've got things that'll help you generate all of your content, like for your, whether it's your personal statement, which is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about as college essay guy. There's some resources here, for example, called the feelings and needs exercise that, like, if you've been through challenges in your life, this could be an interesting, exercise for you. It takes about 25 minutes to work through that. And then one of the things we're big on is values. And there's a simple exercise that takes about 5 minutes that will help you figure out what are your core values. There's a little video that walks you through it. And there's a little values list to help you figure out, what do I really care about? And how does that manifest itself in the world? Beyond that, there are resources here for basically how to write your essays step by step. How do you know at the end of the process if your essays are really like doing their job, quote unquote? The supplemental essays are a big deal. So here you'll find supplemental essays or essays that are particular to different schools. And so we've created supplemental essay crash courses for a lot of the schools that you'll find, for example, on the Coalition app. And there are guides on how to write all those. Now, heads up that these will all be updated in the coming weeks as schools release their prompts for this year. We've also got specific guides for specific types of essays, like the Why Us essay, or the extracurricular activity, or the Why Major. These are all specific kinds of essays that you'll get into if you're applying particularly to highly selective schools. One of the most underrated parts of the application is the activities list. It's that brag sheet or resume. And so we've got a complete guide on that. There's also that additional information section, which a lot of students don't even know what that is, but it's basically an opportunity in your application to talk about things that didn't fit elsewhere. And so if you click here, you'll see like a step-by-step guide. There are like, a few different things that could potentially go there. You don't have to put anything there, but if you have certain extenuating circumstances, this will walk you through how to put those in, how to get great recommendation letters, or if your school requires a resume or an interview, we've got complete guides on that. A lot of these, by the way, are attached to our YouTube channel, which I'll share about in just a few minutes. We're basically create videos and put them out once or twice a week, each week, to basically give you what you need at like different points in the process. When it comes to financial aid, we've got like a big guide. This is particularly for international students. We're getting ready to release a big guide called Paying for College in 4 steps. That's coming out really soon. And that'll pop up on this page here. What happens if you need to appeal financial aid? You know, how do you complete the FAFSA? So guides on that. And then there's stuff on like choosing a college and scholarship essay examples. When it comes to applying to scholarships, for example, here's a bunch of examples. And then in terms of like writing a scholarship essay, if that's compelling to you, we basically looked at the top 10 most common scholarship essay prompts. And I wrote a guide to how do you write the essay for all of those most common prompts. I know this is a lot, but hopefully you can come back to it later. Some other things that sometimes students care about is something called demonstrated interest, which is like letting the school know that you are interested in them. Some schools care about it, some schools don't. You can find out on the common data set how much they care, and there's a whole guide for that. If you are an artist or an athlete, or you're interested in HBCUs, or you're a homeschooler, we've got guides for you. And yeah, oh, another cool thing, if you are a student who identifies as low income, we've got something called our Matchlighters Scholars Program, which basically pairs students with counselors, high achieving low income students. And we pair you for at least anywhere from 4 to 10 hours of free help. And we've got about a volunteer base of about 600 plus folks. And we'll connect you. There's no catch. There's nothing that we ask of you. It's just make sure you do the work and show up for the sessions with your counselor. So you can, if you're a low income student, you can just click here and apply. Some other resources, we've got a podcast with lots and lots of guides on everything. Some of the things that we've talked about already, like how to appeal a financial aid award letter, you know, lessons from reading over 10,000 essays, etc. And then we've also got a YouTube channel. And Alex, maybe you can share the link for that. And we've got videos that come out every, you know, 1 or 2, like I said, once or twice a week. Let me see if any questions came in. I don't see it. I don't see any questions yet. Okay. Oh, that can an international student get an essay? Well, that's probably not for me, actually. But anyway, if you all have any questions, feel free to let us know. Feel free to reach out. You can reach out at help@collegeessayguy.com. And yeah, we hope you make use of the resources. And Jonathan, we'll call it there.
Thank you so much, Ethan and Alex. Now, last but not least, we'll be hearing from FastWeb. Still muted.
Okay, it's nothing like waiting around and not having it be ready when it starts. I am so glad to wrap up this evening. And I'm very excited to be here to represent FastWeb and to tell our listeners a little bit about what we do and the free services that we provide. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And what I'd like to do is we spent a lot of time with the other presenters about the college application process, and it was just so informative. And what we do is a little bit different. We do help students find scholarships that allow them to find additional funding for school. And one of the things I just wanted to take a little bit of time on is what is a scholarship? Because I think sometimes at the beginning of your college journey, it's hard to know what all the terminology is. And also let me just add that I put our website address and the email address to ask questions in the chat, because I may go over things that I talk about every single day, and you may need more information. So please feel free to email us and ask more specific questions. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about scholarships. So scholarships provide money for school. They are considered awards and don't need to be paid back, and they're available for students at all levels. They come from schools, they come from organizations, that come from local governments. And what we do is we bring together all of those scholarships and put it into the FastWeb database in order for you to be able to be matched to scholarships that are relevant for you. So FastWeb is a free service. I put up the registration screen because it's real simple to just say, basically, you register, you take the time it takes to fill out the profile, and then the database does the work for you. One of the things that's really that we do at FastWeb, and we've been doing this for 26 years, we're in our 26th year, I'll say, is that we take your unique criteria, your unique interests, and the database then uses that to find relevant scholarships. And so the more you tell us, the smarter the database is. And that's why we call it scholarship matching. It's not a search service, it's a matching service. Just know that all of our scholarships are reviewed, and internships are reviewed in advance by our research team. They make sure that they fit the criteria of our requirements, that also every scholarship it's valid, it's available, it doesn't ask for personal information, and it certainly doesn't ask for any payment or any money. If anybody asks you to pay for a scholarship, clearly that is inappropriate. So turn and go the other direction. Once you've set up your registration and your profile, you then have a dashboard that's in FastWeb. And this is just an image of the dashboard at the time that I took it. And you can see that it shows you the scholarship, the award, the deadline. You can manage off to the side here. You can manage, you can manage, go back. Okay, so it doesn't want to do that. There it goes, sorry. So you can manage whether you want to learn more or save it for later. You see at the top that 27 shows how many matches. Actually, I hadn't opened at the time that I ran this. So, but this is your dashboard. And then when you click into the actual scholarship match, you get more information like who the scholarship provider is, who the sponsor of that is. You can see this one's the American Red Cross, how many awards there are, and how we matched you. This is kind of key. Now, in this particular one, it was by scholarship year. So, but sometimes you'll have other things there, like maybe it'll say major or other things. So this is where we spend our time, making sure that this process really works for our students. Off to the side here, I have a few tips. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to say that when you sit down to do scholarships, to review these scholarships, really make sure you have time to do that, so that you can read through the criteria from the provider, which is what you will get when you hit the Apply Now button. We are not the provider. You're simply a path to show you where the provider is. And then that way you give yourself enough time to really genuinely answer all the questions, submit the information, and have a real shot to try and win the award. So that was the desktop and the online version. And we also have an app which acts very much the same way from the dashboard layout. But also we do send email. We send a lot of email because every day you're going to get new scholarship matches. You're going to get, you could potentially get featured scholarships. You might get scholarships that are expiring. And so when you set up your registration, you tell us what kind of emails you want. And I encourage you to go ahead and get the emails and then just set yourself up weekly with 2 days a week, 2 hours a week, whatever works, so you can sit down and go through those emails. So that's the matching situation. And of course, we do have some resources where we have gathered scholarships to show you. One of the main ones is the National Scholarship Database, National Scholarship Directory, which has many categories where we show you new and large scholarships. We have informative newsletters, and they generally bring together scholarships and themes. So these are ways you can see other scholarships in addition to the ones that you get matched to. We are on all the social platforms. Generally, our handle is Pay for School. So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And a lot of times we put out various posts that do have scholarship information, internship information in them. Please like them, share them. Interact with them, and we hope that you will participate with us on social media. In addition to scholarships and internships, we do keep up with financial aid. A lot of the other presenters had mentioned financial aid, and of course the FAFSA that kicks off on October 1st for U.S. students. And so we have a financial aid portal. We need a completely whole new presentation if we were going to actually go into those features, but we do keep up with it, and we do make sure that we have information on FastWeb for you on that. Okay, so now what? It's pretty simple. FastWeb is free. Go ahead, fastweb.com, create your profile, answer all those questions. Take the time to really do that. Sign up for the email list, sign up for the emails for scholarships and internship matches, and the newsletters, read the communications, join us on social media, download the app. I mean, all the normal things, but the real truth is you could start applying right away to opportunities. Again, I know there's a lot of information that was passed during this entire presentation, so please just feel free to email us and we'll try and answer your questions. And I hope that this was informative, and thank you to TeenLife. And that's it for me.
Thank you so much. I would like to welcome all of our presenters back on screen for our short Q&A here in the last 5 to 10 minutes that we have left. Welcome back, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm going to be asking you all the same question, and we'll be answering in the same order that we presented. This is something that I think everyone touched on a little bit in their presentations, and it's something that I'm sure is on the mind of quite a few of our attendees. So I'm excited to hear your all's different viewpoints on this. The question is this: the college application process has obviously changed dramatically in the last 18 months to 2 years. How has your organization adapted, and or more specifically, what advice do you have for those students out there who are navigating these new normals that they may not have had to deal with, 3, 4, or 5 years ago? So we're going to be going in the same order. So I'm going to hand it over that question to North Shore College Counseling.
Hi there. So yeah, the world changed dramatically. And so North Shore College Consulting, we have continued to stay up to date with the changes, and there were more changes than ever before. Through training, we're constantly meeting with college admissions officers to find out what the changes are and how we can best support students that will be applying to those colleges. We're part of national organizations, NACAC, IECA, HECA, all that helps us keep everything in line and know what's going on at a moment's notice. As soon as something changes, we're getting emails about it. We're constantly in training. We know families now need even more handholding and reassurance and help during all of the uncertain times. So we're in the corner for the students. We developed this admissions key VIP so we can meet a student where they're at. We have different options at different budgets so we can help everybody at whatever part of the process they need. Our advice to students is, the world is less predictable. Admissions is less predictable than ever before. There's no guarantees. We think everyone should be really open-minded. It's not where you go to college, it's really what you do when you get there. And we want to make sure that you plan in advance, though. If the pandemic taught us anything, it was don't wait to do something, do it now. We found that those who were really on top of things and getting involved and not saying I'll do that next year, were really able to pivot pretty easily. And those who didn't have activities or were waiting to get involved really kind of didn't know what to do when everything shut down. Also think about your learning environment. We might have to, shelter in place again. And if you weren't able to learn remotely, figure out, where you went wrong and what could really support you better to keep your grades up, get your help from teachers, engage with your teachers to get all the help you need. So that's our advice for you guys tonight.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Passing it on to Derek from the Coalition for College.
Yeah, I think Debbie said it well. She said, there's no doubt really that college admissions and the application process and everything is changing and has changed drastically. So I know for us, we've all seen that things like test scores and transcript, GPA have played a less central role during the pandemic. And some of this is going to continue even as we get past this. So the Coalition for College is constantly creating new and updating existing resources for students. And in my coalition, which is that online free college planning platform, we have tools to help students reflect on a deeper level about their story and to consider how to put together the best application possible. And then also, there are tons of virtual resources provided through the coalition, but also through a lot of the member institutions and different organizations like the one who are on here now. And a lot of these resources were never offered before. So we were pushed to do this in response to the pandemic, especially the colleges and universities. So a big piece of advice for students: make sure that you're taking advantage of those because they are there. And there are lots of folks who are wanting to help you in that process and that exploration. And then for us, we always say to not forget to start early and stress less. So the earlier that you even just start thinking about this process, the earlier that you start reaching out to people, the better. And just kind of touching on, I guess, some of those resources and things that we have actually on August 4th on our Instagram. I told you all to follow the Instagram, but we are actually doing an Ask Anything live. So throughout the day, you can get on and you can ask any question. And we have a bunch of college admissions counselors, as well as high school counselors and CBO advisors, community-based organization advisors that work in college access that are going to be there to answer your questions live. So just make sure that you're tapping into all the resources around you, the coalition, as well as the other folks that are here on the line. And that's all from the coalition for now.
Thank you so much, Derek. Passing it on to Versan Educational Services. Sandra, what advice do you have for students in all the areas you cover navigating these new college application norms?
I don't know if it's new. I think it's still old under the sun. For North America, it's a lot of Zoom and emails instead of the one-on-one physical that we used to do with our staff. In the third world countries, however, we had a unique challenge in that we had to create massive meetings online. And we also had to go to schools and separate desks so that because of COVID, and do meetings for parents, because most of the kids in the rural areas do not have access to Wi-Fi and do not have laptops. And so we still got them in and still got them to go, but we had to prepare our staff for COVID breaches and also take care of hundreds of kids in the rural areas. So we have been challenged and we got through it. We thought that embassies gave us a raw deal in terms of shutting down and students not knowing when or where they would have been able to fly out, but we also got past that. And so now the problem we're facing is not applications, it's not getting them there, it's actually the vaccine. And so we're dealing with a lot of superstition versus science. But in terms of applications, it's still quite easy to get it done. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sandra. College essay guy, what do you think, Ethan? What advice do you have that you maybe didn't mention earlier in your presentation for students applying to college these days?
Focus on the things you can control. Sure, a lot changed in the world, but I don't know that a lot actually changed in the college application process. So I'm going to maybe offer a dissenting opinion. I think that you still need to work really hard and get good grades. I think you still need to write a personal statement that reflects your core values and who you are. You still need to write a great activities list that demonstrates, your brag sheet, basically what you've done. And you still want to develop a balanced college list. Now, how you do that, it can be a little trickier when you need to make on-campus visits virtually, if you're going to check out campuses. So some of that stuff has changed. And another thing that has changed is there is a portion, at least there was last year, that was added, about explaining what the impact of COVID has been on you. As you can probably guess, we created a guide for that. Alex, maybe you could share that in the chat. But I just want to say to y'all, you've got this, and I'm speaking to students but probably parents too. You've got this. The resources are out there. They're Googleable, and you can do this. So, but when I say focus on what you can control, put one foot in front of the other, and develop a great list, put your pieces together, and that's the best you can do. And then go have an awesome life.
Absolutely. As both Sandra and Ethan point out, the more things change, the more some of the things stay the same. Lastly, over at FastWeb, I'll pass the question on to you. What advice do you have for students applying to college in this new normal?
Well, I have to agree with a lot of the things that Ethan just said. I think that there is a lot of fantastic resources out there, and to focus on what you can accomplish in a given time frame. So make sure that you write up what you want to do, take advantage of these things. Although we're all still sitting at home and sitting in a box looking at each other through a camera, we are still doing the same work. We've been preparing the same way. We've been paying attention to the same issues out there. And we are here for you. I know we are at FastWeb to help students find ways to pay for school. And we have not wavered from that, even though we may not be in an office anymore. So please take advantage of all these free services out there. And I wish you best of luck, and looking forward to a fall school year that is wonderful and normal and in person. And I hope that everyone stays safe and healthy and moves forward with joy. That's it from FastWeb.
Thank you so much. With that, we have come to the end of our College Prep Expo. I want to thank all of our panelists and of our attendees for sticking with us here until the end. This is our second session. We had an earlier session at 6 p.m. Eastern, and if you're just joining us for this one, I encourage you all to check out the recordings for that. They will be made available in the coming days. Thank you all once again for coming, and have a great rest of your night, and good luck to all of the students and parents out there. Hopefully this eased a little bit of your anxiety, at least, about the college application process. Thank you, everyone.